One of the saddest things that I hear every single day from future millionaires like you is something like this. Like, oh, I just spent 3 months in real estate and it didn't work, and 3 months doing Shopify, and 3 months in Amazon, and 3 months as a trainer, and none of this stuff works. Well, listen. You absolutely positively can become a millionaire, and today I'm going to show you how to start $1 million business. Hey, I have good news for you, my friend. There are only 7 steps to building a 7-figure business. Now, the first one is not what you think. You probably think that you have to go and create a product, or you have to go and find one on Amazon to sell. No. Instead, we're actually going to start at the highest level. 30,000 foot view and build your vision, because your values and vision are going to drive every single one of your business decisions. After all, listen, if you think, oh, I'm just going to go and start a restaurant or a food truck or something, and that's going to make me a whole bunch of money, well, if you haven't thought about what little paycheck prison it might put you in about working long hours, being separated from your family, it's only going to blow up in the long run. So you have to have the vision for your life. I have a lot of coaching clients who come in and work with me about creating their vision. One of them is a very successful person in the real estate industry, Sharran Srivatsaa. And we focused on 2 parts of his vision for the next phase of his 8-figure career. The first one is we built that long-term 5-year vision, then a 1-year vision and a blueprint there. And he also focused on visualizing the night before. So every single night, he went to bed, he visualized his next day, and he visualized the path to success and his future. And that's why his dreams are coming true. So what I want you to do is ask yourself, what do I want my business and my personal life to look like in 5 years from now? And then in 1 year from now? And that will help guide you as about what $1 million business we're going to start for you. Then we can get into the tactics. The first big decision that you have to make is, what hungry marketplace do I want to go and serve? A hungry marketplace. So there's this old story from a very famous marketer who lived a few years ago. His name was Gary Halbert. Gary Halbert stood up at the front of the room at this marketing event and he said, if you were starting a hot dog cart, what's the number one thing that you need? People said, oh, like the best hot dogs, or a really cool sign, or low prices. And he said, no. That's not the answer. What you need is a hungry market. Because if you were selling hot dogs at a vegan food festival, you would fail. But if you go and you put your hot dog cart in front of a hungry market, like at the beach, you're going to be successful. Even if you don't have the world's greatest hot dogs, even if you aren't a great marketer, simply choosing a hungry market is absolutely essential. Okay, step number 3 is we want to create a killer offer. A killer offer, because you have to differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd. So look at what you're trying to sell right now if you're not having success. Is it really irresistible to the person who's come to your website, maybe from a Facebook ad, maybe through word of mouth, and look at it and go, is this really an irresistible offer? For example, I just bought a Theragun. That thing is an incredible tool. The offer was absolutely insane because it's like having a massage person in your house all the time, 24/7, for, a decent price. And it delivers an amazing result. It's an absolutely killer offer, giving you freedom from pain in the comfort of your own home. Speaking of comfort of your own home, back when I started my first multi-million-dollar business, Turbulence Training, I was offering amazing results, fat burning, muscle building, all from exercising in the comfort of your own home without expensive equipment in a very short amount of time. It was a killer offer. And then not only that, but I threw in body weight only workouts, I threw in nutrition guides, I threw in accountability and support, everything somebody needed. It was a no-brainer offer for somebody to take advantage of it. So look at a killer offer. Think about the things you have bought recently. What made them stand out to you? What made them go over the edge so that you finally click the purchase button? And then go and build your own irresistible killer offer and your business will grow. Next up is selling. And I'll tell you what, I'm fortunate enough to have some of the world's best salespeople as my coaching clients. Guys like Marion, who have sold over $500 million worth of supplements. young men like Xander Fryer, who's going to be the next Tony Robbins, who has an amazing system for selling high-ticket coaching. And each one of these guys and the women that I coach have a very precise system for selling, step by step, but also scheduled into the day. Now, most entrepreneurs, people that struggle to get going, what they tend to do is skip over selling because it's so exciting to be on social media. It's so exciting to be making your product that much better. But listen, if you don't sell, you don't have a business. You kind of have a charity, something that you're giving your time to and getting nothing back in return. But what I want for you is financial success. So you must become good at sales. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to be a schmoozer. You don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to be a person who gets on the phone and does cold calling. No, instead, with the right systems, you attract people to you, warm, interested leads, and you follow a very clear and concise pattern for selling, whether it's through copywriting, getting their attention, having a good headline, telling a good story, making a great offer, or by getting people on the phone and walking them through and showing them where they are in their struggle, that you have the solution for them, and then that you are the person to bridge the gap. That's selling. It's simple. Listening to others is far more important in sales than talking. So if you want help with that, we're going to teach you how to sell better so that you get to your $1 million. That's an essential skill, and you can't skip that step. Okay, this next one is a little bit different, but these construction tools are a really great analogy for it, a really great visual. You must be persistent. You have to keep hammering home every single day. Even when you wake up in the morning and you're feeling down, you had a bad day yesterday, and maybe your dog even ran away, you got to show up every single day. You got to be relentless. You got to be persistent. And there's nobody more persistent in my life than my girlfriend, Michelle. She's starting her business. She's going through the same struggles as you. And I see her showing up every single day. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm so proud of you for doing the same. There's going to be days when you go down, into the dips. But you got to march consistently out of there. And I'll tell you what. When you never give up on what is important to you, you will achieve your goals. Okay, the next step is also totally different than thinking about selling and copywriting and stuff like that. Because the next one is actually just thinking about building systems in your business, thinking about new opportunities. It's one thing to do all this hard work, and when we think of building a business, we think of working all the time, but that's not what it's about. In fact, the furthest thing from our mind when we think of an entrepreneur is picturing somebody walking through the woods or sitting by a pond with their feet up, just in contemplation and thought. But I'll tell you what, that's where your big ideas are going to come from. And without big ideas, you're not going to be able to build a killer offer. You probably won't find that hungry market. You've got to step back. You've got to slow down to speed up. Think about that. You got to slow down, get space, and think in order to speed up. One of my friends and coaching clients, Jason Capital, is an absolute master at this. He sold over $40 million of products before he was even 30 years old. Now, I met Jason at an event when he was 19, and I saw the magic in him. And I pulled him aside, and we wrote down a little program and plan for him on a napkin. And he went out, and in the next month, he made $20,000, which is like a king's ransom to somebody who's 19 years old. And every single year I see him thinking and thinking more, spending less time on social media. And because of that, he's actually richer now, more successful now, more peaceful now. So if you want to become a millionaire and beyond, you actually have to think more and work less. So as the old phrase goes, you need to work less in the business and more on the business, and that will allow you to build your empire. All right, I've mentioned a lot of people, and that brings us to step number 7 here, which is networking. The more people you know, the easier everything in life will be. Earlier, I mentioned to you my girlfriend, Michelle. She's super persistent, but I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for my business network. You see, years ago, I was like, man, I really need to find an amazing partner. And I decided I'm going to go to my friend Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa Ortali, who owns the Toronto Ladies Business Community. She was the perfect person to help me out, the perfect matchmaker. So I went to Vanessa. I said, Vanessa, you run this program with all these smart entrepreneurial women. can you introduce me to somebody? And long story short, I ended up meeting Michelle through Vanessa, through my network. And it's the same with business. It is the same with business. I have, for over 20 years now, been making money with friends. That's right, I made my first friend online, business friend, in 1998. You probably weren't even born then. But that business partnership made me a lot of money. And then from there, I kept on meeting more and more great people, both online and through live events, through my masterminds, through coaching, through networking groups. And by meeting these like-minded people, everything, and I mean everything, has become easier in life. And so I challenge you, even if you're introverted like me, even if you're socially anxious like I was, even if, like I used to have to binge drink in order to go to social events, you're gonna cut that crap and you're gonna start to network properly with people who are like-minded and positive. Because you need to hang around people who make you play up a level in life, because that's gonna put more profit and revenue and money into your life so that you are able to have that 7-figure income and the life of your dreams. So networking is absolutely key, and I want you to get started on it today. Now, the last thing after those 7 steps is that you also need a good mentor. You see, for the longest time, I was kind of stuck in my business. I hadn't hit that $1 million yet. I was in this painful prison down here, and I wanted to get to the promised land. And you know what separated and bridged that gap for me? It was hiring my first coach. And I wish I would have hired my first coach sooner. But when I did, my results went up like a hockey stick. Exponential results. I finally had my best year ever. I finally hit the 7-figure mark. And so if you're on the path, you're just about there, you're on the outside of the bubble and you just want to burst into that insider circle of success, I tell you, coaching is the solution for you. So if you want to work together and be like one of my coaching clients who I mentioned in this video who scaled to 7 figures or more, then go to craigballantyne.com/apply. Fill out the information. We'll see if it's a good fit to have a chat. And then what I want you to do next is make sure you watch the next video because we're going to dive deeper into making you a millionaire.